Futuristic-looking uncrewed underwater vehicle, or UUV, has completed full-scale testing in the waters.
It's fantastic. It's that underwater unmanned vehicle. That's it, right?
Imagine a world on the brink. Wars raging in Gaza and Ukraine, riots shaking the UK, and protests sweeping across Africa. Global tensions have never been higher, and the United States is under immense pressure to respond. Enter the Manta Ray, the U.S. Navy's newest and most powerful submarine. But this isn't just any submarine. It's a technological marvel that could redefine naval warfare as we know it. From groundbreaking intelligence gathering to unparalleled surveillance, the Manta Ray is set to change the game entirely. What makes this submarine so special? Could it be the game changer that shifts the balance in these global conflicts? In today's special episode, we're diving deep into the Manta Ray to uncover how this state-of-the-art vessel could alter the course of history. Stay tuned as we explore the submarine that's about to transform everything for years to come. Secretive and pioneering Manta Rays. Up until now, this clever and evasive machine had only existed in one's dreams. Because of its extraordinary powers, the Manta Ray will change the face of naval combat forever. The U.S. Navy has reportedly finished testing a highly classified autonomous submarine codenamed Manta Ray, according to recent media reports. Northrop Grumman conceived and manufactured this cutting-edge platform to address an old issue. This April, the Manta Ray finally put its years of development to the test, successfully completing its first operational test off the coast of California. Learn about the Manta Ray. Few specifics regarding the Manta Ray and its capabilities are available publicly due to the program's high level of secrecy. A completely autonomous underwater vehicle that does not need a person on board or operating it is the public knowledge of the Manta Ray idea. As soon as it takes off, the Manta Ray gets to work on its task and promptly reports back to base. Because to its modular architecture, the Manta Ray can be assembled using only 5 standard shipping containers. According to reports, this allows for lengthier transits by truck instead of the Manta Ray traveling by itself, which saves energy. Standard tools and a crane may be used to build the Manta Ray once it arrives at the location. It is unclear how the Manta Ray will be deployed, and the Navy has not yet announced which ships are capable of launching it. Nevertheless, the craft may potentially be launched from the sound deck of an amphibious ship or the expansive mission port of a battleship. Objectives and strengths. No one knows what the Manta Ray is supposed to do once it's in the water, but from what has been spoken in public, it may be deduced. The media has reported that the Manta Ray is capable of performing a wide range of surveillance and reconnaissance tasks. They may be as basic as entering enemy ports to collect information about combatant fleets, or as complex as filming and photographing hostile coasts using underwater cables. In any event, the Manta Ray is officially a surveillance vessel. Thoughts on the boat's potential usage have been the only things brought up regarding arming it so far. Pictures that have been made available don't reveal anything else. For instance, the U.S. Navy has released photos showing a rigid-hulled inflatable boat that is 7 meters long following the ship closely. The Manta Ray has a length of around 14 meters and a wingspan of about 20 meters, according to a very preliminary estimate. Images that have been released also purposefully hide the back of the ship. Photographs showing the transportation of sensitive equipment on that portion of an asset often include this. So it's not out of the question that the Manta Ray might pull a communications or sonar array behind it. Why unmanned submarines are necessary? Creating completely autonomous submarines has been a long-term goal of the United States Navy. While losing a multi-billion-dollar asset is devastating, losing even one submarine in a real-world battle with a peer like Russia or China is far more devastating. Every commander and enlisted sailor has received priceless education and training throughout the years. Because fresh crews cannot be assembled on the fly, the efficacy of the submarine fleet may be compromised if a large number of submarines were to be lost during a conflict. Amid these worries, the Navy has been working on developing completely autonomous submarines to supplement the current fleet and tackle the most perilous missions. Among them are penetrating occupied ports, gaining access to undersea cables and planting explosives in enemy seas. The danger to the multi-billion-dollar submarines and their irreplaceable people might be reduced by these daring missions. However, how was this issue resolved? The role of the Echo Voyager is to be filled here. One of the Manta Ray's ancestors is the Boeing-conceived Echo Voyager. One of the most important reasons to study the Echo Voyager is to learn about the capabilities and operation of such spacecraft. More details regarding this technique have been made available since it is 20 years old. With a width of 8.5 feet and a height of 72 feet, it is rather large. Compared to the Manta Ray, the Echo Voyager is over 3 times bigger and weighs around 50 tons. Press announcements from Boeing state that the Echo Voyager can travel 6,500 nautical miles on a single fuel module. Indeed, air-independent propulsion, AIP, is a game-changing underwater propulsion technology that powers the Echo Voyager, Manta Ray, and all other UUVs. Grasping AIP, air-independent propulsion. Conventional submarine propulsion comes from diesel engines that power electric batteries. But you can't use a diesel generator inside since, if kept running for too long, the poisonous exhaust gases would kill everyone on board. This means diesel submarines have to come up for air often so the crew may snorkel below the surface and charge their batteries using diesel power. Obviously, the submarines are vulnerable to enemy fire from ships, planes, and coastal artillery from this platform since it is exposed to the surface. AIP is the answer to this issue. These fuel cells allow the submarine to charge its batteries underwater, even if there are other options, such as bioethanol and liquid oxygen fuels. The submarine can usually charge its batteries with a diesel engine when there is no danger and keep them submerged with fuel cells while on mission, saving these valuable cells. Nevertheless, the Echo Voyager carries 50 tons of AIP, since that is how hefty it has always been. It would be a monumental step forward in the history of naval warfare if military contractors and scientists could downsize AIP and install it on the Manta Ray. The Echo Voyager's propulsion and navigation system. Now, however, we will discuss the propulsion system of the Manta Ray and Echo Voyager. What happens when you put it in water? The maximum speed the boat can achieve when underwater is 8 knots, with a minimum speed requirement of 3 knots. Its range between diesel engine charges is 150 nautical miles. In comparison to the U.S. Los Angeles-class submarine, which can only dive to 3,000 feet, this vessel can reach an astounding depth of 11,000 feet. To be more specific, how does Echo Voyager determine its location at such a great depth? The Echo Voyager cannot be located using conventional GPS devices. Echo Voyager's inertial navigation system, on the other hand, uses the ship's present direction and speed as inputs from the last time it received a GPS correction close to the surface to determine the ship's location at that depth. The Echo Voyager's Doppler velocity logs supplement the inertial navigation system. These logs' only function is to transmit signals to the ocean around the ship and then wait for a return signal to determine the ship's speed. Near the ocean bottom, Echo Voyager may be guided using a kind of terrain contour, matching that is similar to the one employed by Tomahawk missiles. Finally, the Echo Voyager can avoid underwater mountains and seamounts with the aid of its forward-facing sonar. Consistency and load. How, however, does the Echo Voyager maintain its stability? Maintaining the proper depth of the Echo Voyager is as simple as filling or draining its ballast tanks thanks to its autonomous buoyancy control capabilities. The boat's fins and control surfaces may be adjusted to keep it upright and avoid capsizing caused by ocean currents. These capabilities allow the Echo Voyager to remain inside a 1-foot depth target and a 7.7-foot location target up to an ocean depth of 11,000 feet. There are a lot of alternatives on board the Echo Voyager, even though the mission is still secret. The Echo Voyager is capable of conducting intelligence-gathering operations in deep seas and reaching undersea cables further into the seabed thanks to its internal payload bay, which is 14 feet long and can hold up to 8 tons of equipment. It is known, however, that the Echo Voyager was not constructed until the Orca built by Boeing showed there. An armed successor, Orca. A new generation of autonomous underwater vehicles, the Orca, is being tested by the Navy to usher in a new age in undersea combat. It is named after one of the top predators in the natural world. Being a direct descendant of the Echo Voyager, the Orca shares identical dimensions and weight with it, and is roughly 13 feet longer at 85 feet. Orcas share a lot of tech with Manta Rays and Echo Voyagers, but they're armed, which is what sets them apart. The Navy's armed underwater drone, the Orca, has been verified. However, details about its capabilities have been kept under wraps. At least according to congressional hearings, the Navy wants the Orca to accomplish everything a conventional submarine does in warfare, including dropping mines and launching torpedoes. The Orca also has some emerging technology that was not known before, like as the ability to locate and spread underwater explosives in order to open sea lanes for submarines and ships. Except for this public discussion, the Orca is mostly unknown, with the exception that the Navy hopes to deploy it to hazardous combat missions in the future. What lies ahead for submarines? What, however, does the future hold in light of all this? Submarines tomorrow. Despite significant progress, the Navy will need at least a few more years before releasing these fearsome aquatic beasts on their unwary adversaries. According to the latest update, the Manta Ray has successfully finished its first round of underwater testing, proving that it can propel itself rather than just sinking. Also, in December 2023, Boeing sent the Navy the first Orca prototype that was ready for operation. Even if completely autonomous underwater robots won't be able to sink opposing fleets just yet, the technology is definitely there. When these prototypes go live, it will completely alter the U.S. playing field. However, there are a few of submarines that stand out even among this formidable underwater actor. These battleships are the most lethal on the world because to their exceptional skill set, formidable weaponry, and cutting-edge technology. Warship Jimmy Carter. The United States Navy's trio of nuclear assault submarines from the Seawolf class are renowned for their stealthiness. However, the USS Jimmy Carter is often seen of as a class alone due to its exceptional capabilities. Seawolf submarines can submerge themselves in the water with relative silence since they employ pump jet propulsion systems instead of spinning propellers. Pump jets are different from earlier submarines with exposed propellers. Instead, they use a duct around a turbine pump to suck water in from the front of the vessel and release it from a nozzle at the rear. Compared to their Los Angeles-class forebears, the Navy asserts that the Seawolf submarine's pump jet systems are much quieter even while traveling at 25 knots. The USS Jimmy Carter's distinctive design provides enhanced fighting capabilities while moored. Because of what the Navy refers to as the State Multi-Mission Platform, the 453-foot warship is 100 feet longer than its sibling ships. Classified combat or intelligence gathering systems such as Navy SEALs or remotely controlled vehicles may be sent via this expanded portion. Consequently, the USS Jimmy Carter has allegedly been instrumental in several covert operations with huge stakes throughout the years. The USS Jimmy Carter is the most hazardous submarine in operation right now due to its sophisticated stealth technology and one-of-a-kind troop deployment facility. A Russian Borei-class submarine, this colossal vessel is the class's engine. Submarines of the Russian Borei class. Under the Borei class, Sevmash is constructing ballistic missile submarines for the Russian Navy that are driven by nuclear power. Russian dedication to undersea fleet modernization is evident in these SSBNs, which are extremely competent nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. They solidify Russia's position as a formidable global maritime powerhouse. A surprise in Russian submarine design, the Borei class has superseded the Delta III and IV classes. To increase mobility and decrease noise, these submarines pioneered the use of pump jet propulsion. Submerged, they weigh roughly 24,000 tons and measure about 560 feet in length. They boast of being the quietest submarines in the Russian Navy and being lower than their predecessors. Russian submarines of the Borei class are more slender in profile than their predecessors. These aquatic creatures are the result of 1,300,000 pieces fused together using 109 kilometers of pipes and 600 kilometers of wire. The third-generation Bulava operational tactical ballistic missile, which is capable of carrying up to 10 tons of ammo, is the core of their threat. These submarines are a worldwide powerhouse far past their years thanks to their 16 RSM-56 Bulava missiles and about 5,000 kilometers of range. For the first time, Russia's fleet is built around these submarines. They have state-of-the-art digital control systems that manage the power plant, navigation, weapon management, and life support systems, ensuring the crew's safety and maximum effectiveness. Originally, there were three variants of the Borei class: the Borei, and the Borei. Each of these versions improved the class's stealth and combat skills. For example, the Borei variant had better command and control systems and stealth characteristics. So, while the first submarine, Yuri Dor Ruki, was delayed due to financial concerns, the Russian Navy has already commissioned multiple units and plans to commission additional, highlighting the significance of these weapon systems in their strategy to achieve underwater dominance. The Borei-class submarines convey Russia's maritime aspirations and serve as a powerful symbol of the country's might. Submarine of the American Virginia class. Our investigation of the world's finest submarines continues with a look at the Virginia class. As the United States Navy's most recent response to contemporary undersea warfare, the Virginia class of submarines is the pinnacle of stealth and power, capable of launching simultaneous covert attacks. The Virginia class, along with the SSN 774 class designation, is a state-of-the-art technology used by the U.S. Submarine Force. Fast attack submarines armed with cruise missiles and propelled by nuclear power. These vessels are capable of a wide variety of operations both at sea and near the coast. That is why they are an adaptable asset to the Navy's arsenal. Several cutting-edge technology, including electronics, stealth, information gathering, and armament systems, went into the development of the Virginia class. Tomahawk cruise missiles allow these submarines to kill ground targets with precise precision. They may also covertly and long-termly monitor land, coastal seas, or other naval forces. Combat against ships and submarines, special operations, mines, and minefield mapping are all part of the missions. This is why they rightfully deserve their reputation as one of the top submarines in the world. Several cutting-edge features are included in the Virginia class: a photonic mast, which can be equipped with high-resolution cameras, light intensification, infrared sensors, a laser rangefinder, an imaging mast, an integrated electronic warfare suite, and an electronic support measures mast are all part of the first American submarines. The United States submarine fleet is known for its exceptional stealth and endurance, and the Virginia-class submarines are built to maintain that reputation while dominating the world's deep oceans and littoral. They are an outstanding attack submarine because their sonar systems provide a clear picture of their surroundings and they process incoming data rapidly. The dimensional chamber provides special forces with the ability to escape via extensive lock-in and lockout entrapment, and the torpedo room can accommodate a large number of Tomahawk land attack missiles. Because of the Virginia-class's near invisibility, the United States has unparalleled maritime security. American naval engineering at its most innovative and strategic is shown by the Virginia-class. The choice to actively defend peace via strength, remain undetected to successfully safeguard our waterways, and not be passive in the face of threats are all reflected in these warships, which are more than just weapons of war. Examining these marvels' underwater capabilities confirms that the Virginia-class justifiably ranks among the most extensive and advanced attack submarine fleets in the world. Following the Virginia-class, the most advanced in the world, is the British Vanguard class, which is often referred to as the pride of the country. British submarine of the Vanguard class. Vickers Shipbuilding and Engineering Limited, now a division of BAE Systems Marine, produced the Vanguard class with the highest degree of efficiency. Ships of the Navy come in 4 main varieties: Vanguard, Victorious, Vigilant, and Vengeance. With a submerged displacement of 15,900 tons, they are among the biggest in the world and a natural demonstration of British engineering. As evidence of the class's multimodal detection capabilities, each submarine is equipped with the Phalanx Underwater Systems Type 2054 composite sonar system. Their power comes from a Rolls-Royce PWR-2 reactor, which gives them the incredible endurance to go around the world around 20 times without refueling. This proves that they are one of the top submarines in the world. Each of the 16 Trident II D5 missiles in the Vanguard class is a 3-stage solid propellant Leviathan, with the ability to travel at supersonic speeds and deliver payloads over a distance of more than 7,360 kilometers. With a potential yield ranging from 100 kT to 120 kT, each of these missiles, which are kept inside the submarine's fearsome arsenal, carries numerous independently targeted re-entry vehicles. As an added bonus, each submarine has 4 533 mm torpedo tubes, which greatly increases its offensive capabilities. Although the Vanguard class is capable of housing 192 nuclear warheads, the missile class was originally restricted to 96 by strategic defense doctrines, and this number has been further decreased to 48 after additional evaluations. Strong deterrence and international initiatives to reduce weaponry are both supported by this strategic armament strategy. Submarines of the Vanguard class have replaced the 1,993 commissioned Resolution class, which carried Polaris missiles. They provide a significant improvement to the naval fighting capabilities of the United Kingdom, and more especially of HMS Vanguard. Upon their arrival, a massive reconstruction work was initiated, leading to the construction of additional storage and weaponry processing facilities. An estimated €550 million went into the refurbishment in total. The Suffren-class submarine of France. Let's examine the Suffren class's merits more closely to see why it may be crowned the world's greatest submarine. An exceptional feat of naval engineering is the Suffren-class assault submarine. Designed by the illustrious naval group, these nuclear-powered assault submarines have state-of-the-art stealth technology that allows them to outmaneuver their adversaries. A crucial characteristic of contemporary attack submarines, their ability to stay undetected up to an operating depth of 350 meters, allows them to maneuver through deep water with agility and stealth. The world's tiniest and most diminutive submarines, these monsters measure only 90 meters in length, yet dive with a displacement of around 5,300 tons. They are among the most cutting-edge submarines in the waters today, because to their design, which strikes a compromise between stealth and size. The Suffren class is very successful at land attack operations because to the crew's terrifying weaponry, which includes naval cruise missiles. This weaponry ensures its status as a first-class assault submarine when combined with the newest French sonar technology, the DSU-UV State Underwater Situational Awareness System. An enormous investment in maintaining France's naval superiority, the Suffren class costs an average of €3.4 billion per unit. It is also a part of a larger program to upgrade the nation's forces in response to the current global security environment. A clear demonstration of France's readiness to defend its interests under the ocean's surface, the Suffren class is evidence of the country's dedication to its Navy. Ohio-class submarine built in the USA. The United States nuclear deterrent, which includes these massive behemoths, sends a strong statement that it is prepared to defend itself and maintain a safe and impregnable posture. Along with 4 cruise missile submarines, the Ohio class has 14 ballistic missile submarines for the fleet. As a result of transporting about half of the United States' operational strategic thermonuclear bombs, the number of SSBNs is substantial. The standard capacity of an SSBN is 20 Trident II submarine-launched ballistic missiles. This is the epiphany that the primary motivation for the construction of the Ohio class was tactical. A total of 150 people, including 15 officers and 135 enlisted, man these behemoths, which measure 156 meters in length and 43 meters in beam. These submarines are crucial attack submarines because the Trident II-D5 missile, their strategic armament, has improved range and accuracy. Supporting their allies' strike demands and special operation troops is the principal duty of modernized Ohio-class SSGNs, which are force multipliers in times of war. Each one of them has the capacity to hold 60 special operations troops and 140 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles. This strengthens their ability to launch offensive strikes in support of the tasks assigned by the combatant commander. To keep the crew motivated and trained, and to make the most of the submarine's strategic availability, each SSGN has two crews, the blue and the gold. The dedication to keeping a watchful and prepared force under the waves is shown by this ingenious crew rotation strategy. Moving on to Columbia. Looking forward, the Ohio class will be replaced by the state-of-the-art Columbia-class submarines in a steady progression, with the first new addition set to join service in 2031. With this change comes the promise of continuing to be the maritime innovation leader and home to the biggest submarine fleet in the world, ushering in a new age of submarine warfare. Word on the street is that the next submarine in line is among the most formidable warships currently on the market. Submarines of the Yasen class. The submarines of the Yasen class are cutting edge. We may assume that these nuclear submarines are equipped with a variety of missiles, including the three M51 SLCM Seabird family, which can be used for land attack cruises, anti-ship missions, and anti-submarine warfare. Subsonic Anti-Ship 91R1 Anti-Submarine, 3 M54K and 3 M54K1 versions, and the 3 M14K land attack variant are all variations of the 3 M51 SLCM Seabird. Upgraded 885 boats will also have the possibility to equip hypersonic cruise missiles in the future. With its 8 vertical launchers, each submarine is capable of carrying 30 or 24 Onyx cruise missiles. The torpedo chamber can accommodate more missiles, but at the price of torpedoes. It will also be equipped with mines, anti-submarine missiles such as the RPK-7 and 10 533 mm tubes. The MGK-600 Ursa spherical sonar was trialed on a modified Akula-class submarine, and this is the first Russian submarine class to be fitted with the device. The sonar setup includes a towed array, flank arrays, and a spherical bow array. The massive size of this spherical array necessitates a slanted arrangement of the torpedo tubes. Unlike the earlier Akula class, the outer doors of the torpedo tubes are now positioned aft. In contrast to earlier Russian submarines that had a double hull, this one has a hull made of low magnetic steel. The majority of submarines in the Yasen class have only one hull. A large amount of automation is likely present in the Yasen class submarines, given there are 85 crew members on Project 885 and 64 on Project 885.5. Modern technology and price. The first submarines to be outfitted with a fourth-generation nuclear reactor are of the Yasen class. The reactor constructed by Atomflot is said to have a core life of 25 to 30 years and will not need refueling. Steam turbines are supplied by Kuga Turbine Works. It is believed that the Yasen boat's noise level has been drastically reduced because of the installation of a new generation KTP-6 reactor. Because the reactor's main cooling loop allows water to circulate naturally, the nuclear submarine's crucial noise factor, the main circulation pumps, need not be continuously operated. Admiral Fogo, commander of U.S. Naval Forces Europe, has said that the quietness of the Yasen-class submarines is the most crucial feature of a submarine warfare state. The Yasen is said to be far more silent than earlier Russian SSNs, and it can operate at a quiet 20 knots, which is on par with the Seawolf class and second only to the Virginia-class's 25 knots. Even in quiet mode, Severodvinsk may supposedly exceed 28 knots, according to some accounts. A price tag of $1.2 billion was the original projection for the first Yasen-class submarine. Approximately 50 billion rubles, or around $1.6 billion, was the stated price tag for the first-class Severodvinsk in 2011. On the other hand, the second unit, Kazan, is expected to cost about $725 million, or 47 billion rubles, at the 2019 ruble to USD conversion rate. Anatoly Serdyukov, the Minister of Defense, later voiced his disapproval of the Borei and Yasen programs' growing tuition costs. The minister found the enormous price hike between the first two Yasen-class submarines to be inexplicable. The Russian Defense Ministry and the shipbuilding sector, he said, will fix the problem. According to United Shipbuilding Corporation authorities, the portion of the submarine's completion cost that is attributable to work done at Sevmash is 30%, while the remaining 70% is associated with suppliers and contractors. Highly intelligent submarine. The Astute-class submarine is renowned for its enormous weapon store, following in the footsteps of the formidable Yasen submarine. There are 38 weapon slots available to the Astute class. The ship usually has a variety of Tomahawk Block 4 cruise missiles and Spearfish heavy torpedoes, which cost 87,000 pounds each. From a few meters to over 1,000 miles away, Tomahawk missiles can strike their targets with pinpoint accuracy. The Ministry of Defense stated in May 2022 that these missiles will be upgraded to Block 5 standard beginning in 2024. This upgrade includes improved range, enhanced in-flight communication, and target selection, among other improvements. British submarines of previous classes have been upgraded with a new command system called the Astute Combat Management System. The system collects information from the boat's sensors and shows it on the control panels. In addition to two CM10 non-hole penetrating optronic masts, which serve as thermal imaging, low-light TV, and color CCD TV sensors, and Atlas Hydrographic DSO 25 high-precision echo sounders, the submarines do away with traditional periscopes. Additionally, the class has a mechanism for identifying friends and foes of the successor. The Astute class is outfitted with the state-of-the-art Sonar 2076 integrated passive-active search and attack sonar system, which can detect enemy ships and submarines via bow, intercept, flank, and towed arrays. According to BAE, the 2076 is the top sonar system in the world. The cutting-edge Common Combat System will be installed aboard all Astute-class submarines. A pump-jet propulsor and a Rolls-Royce pressurized water reactor provide propulsion for the Astute class of boats. Built for the Vanguard class of ballistic missile submarines, the pressurized water reactor can last 25 years without refueling. Consequently, the new submarines are almost 30% bigger than their predecessors in the British fleet, which had reactors with lower diameters. In order to surface through ice caps, the Astute-class boats, like other Royal Navy submarines, have a particularly strengthened bridge fin. Additionally, a dry deck shelter may be installed on these submarines, enabling special troops to deploy even while submerged. One of the acoustic features that sets the Astute class of submarines apart from all others previously used by the Royal Navy is the fact that over 39,000 acoustic tiles conceal the vessel's sonar signal. Having a bunk for every member of the ship's company was a tradition that the Astute class, the second Royal Navy submarine class following the Vanguard class, put a stop to. This practice included two sailors on opposing watches sharing the same bunk at separate times. Having said that, the mess deck area is less compared to the Valiant-class submarines that were produced 45 years ago. It was found during an audit by the Defense Board that there were errors in the standards of accommodations and quality of life matters. The boat's potential endurance is endless due to its nuclear propulsion, but in reality, it can only stay at sea for up to 90 days depending on the food it carries and the stamina of its crew. Thank you for tuning in. Until our next video, take care.